Yes, hello friends. Welcome to BISP Solutions. Myself Ashwin and BISP Solutions is a tech company provide technological solutions across the world. Now, see within the last 20 days, we have gone through what is BA, what type of how many types of BAs are there, what are the role of BA. Now, within the last 20 days, we have seen the complete process how to become a BA business analyst and how to design a document, right? How to produce a document. Now in this today's session, it's kind of like a practice session. We will create the full BA document set on a case study. That means today we are going to take one case study and then we will create all the necessary documents. Now whatever I am showing you, it is not like only these documents are sufficient. There are so many documents, right? There are so many documents. At the end of all these sessions, I will give you an idea that how many different types of documents can be asked to create, because it is not necessary that suppose in one project you have designed like 15 documents, so in the next project also same 15. It may vary, right? The main thing is that you should be able to write a document. You should be able to know, you should know that how the document is prepared. Okay, so now in this session I will show you how the documents are prepared, right? And step by step we will take first a case study and then we will go. Now in this introduction session, see here what will we do. Explain the purpose of the live workshop, right? Just consider this as a live workshop and I am showing you from the beginning to end process, right? And now case study. What is your case study? Automate sales order approval in NetSuite. Okay, this is our one case study. If we go through complete project, the session will become too much long, so that's why I will take only one case study, that is automate sales order approval in a NetSuite. Okay, now participants will learn how to create the following business analyst documents. Okay, so in this session, next 1 hour, what I will explain you how to create a BRD. We have already done it in our 1 hour session within the last 20 sessions, so I recommend you to those who joined today only, those who joined today first time, so I recommend you to watch those 20 webinars also, right? Now in this you will see business requirement document. Now business requirement document, you know all. Functional requirement document. Business requirement means what is the current process, right? What they want, that's it. In FRD, what they want, how that will function. In use case document, what is the use case exactly? Use case is like automating the sales order approval, and how the user story, what the user want, how the user will follow that. UAT script means unit user acceptance testing. So user acceptance testing means it's a script. Like for example, if I write the scenarios in an Excel sheet, but the user should be able to see all those scenarios, so it's a PPT. Then requirement traceability matrix. Requirement traceability matrix means what is the requirement, how it is worked, and which document support this requirement, by what through which document you have done this requirement fulfillment, right? And then ultimately the change request document. Change request means in the middle of the project, now they suggested some changes. Now what is this change request? Just in the last session we have discussed this. Okay, so all these things are not new for you, you are familiar with all these things. Okay, so now let's start with the BRD. Okay, okay, now okay, now let's see. First of all, step 1, what will be your step 1? The step 1 will be like identify the business problem. First of all, the very first step is this only. Identify the business problem means what is the problem exactly, because that is why the client comes to you, right? So what is a case study? First case study, client wants to auto approve sales order below 50,000 and route higher orders for manager approval. That means suppose if the sales order is like below 50,000, then it should auto approve, and then if it is higher than 50,000, then manager to approve. Now we will not go in the technical part because we are behaving like a business analyst. Business analyst does not work on coding. Okay, so now client wants to auto approve sales orders below 50,000 and route higher orders for manager approval. So who are the stakeholders? First of all, see who will be the stakeholders. What is the case study, what is the problem, or what is the case study, right? Or what is the use case? This is also a use case only. So what is the use case first? This is our use case. Now who will be the stakeholders? That means who are involved or who are directly related to this use case. Sales team, sales manager and finance, right? Because purchase rep and vendors, they are not related to this. So who are the stakeholders first? What is the business need? Why do you want this? See, first of all, who are the stakeholders? Just we will write down here who are the why do you want this? What is the need? Okay, now what is the need? Why do you want this? Faster processing, better approval control. Okay, now note the process pain points. Note the process pain points means, for example, anybody is coming and creating sales order greater than 50,000 and nobody is there to stop. That is the pain point of that process, right? Now step 2. Now what will be your step 2 in this? Now in this step 2, what you need to do, first of all, create a business requirement document first. See, if you have the habit of writing document, this is well and good, because normally the developers, they are not in the habit of writing documents. They are always involved in coding. So everything needs to do by the business analyst, especially related to documentation, right? So create a BRD first. Now sections to include. So first of all, you have to include the executive summary, right? I have explained you what is executive summary. Okay, what are the some write 2 few lines about the client company, then who we are, and then finally what exactly they want, why they want this type of facility, why they approached us, right? Then second is business objective. Business objective means exactly what they want, right? Automate sales order approval. Now these are the main points I have written, key points. First of all, executive summary. Then after that you have to write down about the company, then the business objective, automate sales approvals. Now automate sales approvals, you have to write down the complete definition, right? That initially the current process of the sales order is this. Then you have to put one more question. Now what they want in the new system. Then you have to write down exactly what they want. Approval, automated approval of sales orders. Why do they need this? So you have to add by your own. This is, I am showing you this, like now business objective is like this. For example, you have to write business objective, right? Then what is the current process? Now what is recommended, why it is required. So all these things that you have to explain by your own. Now stakeholders. Now stakeholders means who will be directly impacted by this, who the persons who are directly related to this module, sales order, order to cash. So you have to write down the sales rep, the sales manager. Now what problem they are facing, the problems the stakeholders are facing, you have to write one more heading. Then the problem, you have to write down the complete problem, exactly why, what problem they are facing. So they will say that okay, anybody can come and create the sales order. So at the end of the day, there are so many sales orders which are totally unnecessary, right? So like this way. Now scope. Now once you write down the stakeholder, you have to write down the name of the stakeholders also, because there should be a clarity that who are the stakeholders. At the end of the day, nobody will say that okay, I am directly related to this module. So you have to put everything on the paper. Then the scope, sales order process only, right? The scope of this is sales order process only. That means we will focus on completely sales order process. If anything related to item, if anything related to customer, we will not focus on that, right? Okay. Now scope means the area, the boundary of that particular, beyond this boundary we will not do anything. That means right, like that. Okay. Then the scope is okay. Then as is process. Right now as is process means what is the current process. You can consider this as is process means current process. Currently manual process is there. Manual approvals. Manually someone is approving. That means all the sales order is checked by someone else, and then manually he approves it. But what if the below 50,000 should be auto approved, and greater than 50,000 should be sent directly to the person, related person, right? So that is the main process. So as is process means manual approval. To be process, automated threshold based approval. Threshold based approval means a limit you have set 50,000. Now 50,000, below 50,000, that is like auto approval, and beyond 50,000 send alert for SO approval, which are greater than 50,000, right? And later on the sign off section. Sign off section means, see, when you will work on a project, you have to think by your own, and you have to, now this sign off section, in this you have to write down all the stakeholder names. Kindly put your signature here also. The reason is that many times what happens, suppose there are 4 stakeholders in, I remember in one of my project what happens, there are 5 stakeholders of order to cash process, but the reason is that at the end one stakeholder says that the NetSuite is not working according to his requirement. Now in that case, since there was no sign off at that time, so we need to make changes according to the stakeholders requirement, right? So if you take sign off, so at the end of the day nobody will say like I have not approved it like this, I did not want like this, the process was not according to the requirement. So you have to take the sign off. In this sign off section you have to write down all the people, those who are directly or indirectly related to this process or this use case. Okay, that means name of all, and then that document will be shared with everyone, one document copy only, and then that copy will be shared by everyone, and then once they put the sign off, then that document will be scanned and uploaded, and finally that document will be shared with our functional consultant and technical consultant team, and then they will say yes, okay now. Or if you don't share it with the technical consultant team, it is sufficient to share it with the functional consultant, right? And then once functional consultant say okay, then that functional consultant will take care to fulfill this requirement, how it will be done, and the team will start working on it, right? So this is the complete process. First of all, you have to create a BRD, and in BRD these are the topics, right? These are the sections. This is only for one use case. Okay, now let's come here, create a FRD. Now functional requirement document. Now what is this functional requirement document? Now look at this. First requirement is approve if it is below 50,000. Second is send alert if it is greater than. Now see here in FRD, functional requirement ID mapping, FR1, functional requirement 1 for requirement 1. So amount and status, field impact. Now here you are creating a functional requirement document. So what happens here, these are the key sections. Now functional requirement ID, see in functional requirement document also everything is associated with the ID. Now here it is written FR001 for requirement 1. That means requirement 1 means less than 50,000. So field impact, that is amount and status. Logic, if amount is less than 50,000, then status equal to approve, else status equal to pending approval. So this is the logic. Now in functional requirement you have to just, first of all you will let's divide this complete functional requirement document into the set of IDs. So functional requirement 1, what it says, if the amount is less than 50,000, then status should be approved. If it is greater than 50,000, status should be pending. So two fields are impacted here. Look at this, amount and the status. That is what written here, field impacted. Now role matrix, you have to return the role matrix. Now in this complete process, who does what? That means how many people are involved in it. That means now all in all, if you see from the top overview, what this slide is saying, what is being done for which requirement and what fields are impacted, which role are involved in it. Is it integration impact? None. Okay, not related to integration. Workflow design notes, if applicable. There is no workflow design notes right now. Reporting needs, list sales orders pending approval, right? So now you have to write down the functional requirement in such a way that exactly what is asked, number one, how it is being done, who are impacted, and is this functional requirement impacts any other field. Is there any reporting need? Yeah, you can, what type of reports we can produce. Okay, that's like list of sales orders pending approval, right? So in this way, functional requirement document is something like this. So let's do this also. If we need to write FRD, okay, RQ001, how it will be done. Then fields impacted, who will be involved, right? Who will be involved in it. Okay, now here you will see role matrix and who does what, right? Now let's come fourth point. Now let's come fourth point, that is use case and user story. Now what is use case example? Same thing, requirement. What is the requirement or use case? Same thing. Okay, so use case example. So this is the use case example. Use case name, what is the use case name? That is approve sales order based on amount. Okay, so use case name, approve sales order based on amount. Now who are the actors? Actors means the stakeholders. You can use it stakeholders also. Now stakeholders are sales rep. Okay, what is the precondition? Customer exist. Now see, use case is a different thing. Use case, this is what you need to do, who will do this, what are the conditions, what steps you need to take, and what will be the output, right? This all will be involved in it. So use case, user story. So use case example, use case name, approval order based on amount. Okay, actors means the stakeholders. Okay, sales rep, and then precondition, customer exist, customer should exist, then item also should exist, because sales order will be created when the item should exist. So customer exists, item should also be exist. Okay, then location should also exist, subsidiary should also exist. So there are a number of lists, so many lists are, so many things are there, right? Like location, warehouse location should also exist. Let me correct this also, right? Customer, item, location, subsidiary, right? These things should exist, then only these are the preconditions. Okay, then steps. Now create SO, that means create sales order, enter amount. Okay, fine, submit. Now system response, check logic, apply status. That means this is the use case that we have to approve a sales order based on amount. So what will the system do? System response should be like this. Now in this, see the difference between sales order and FRD. Functional requirement document means this is the functional requirement, that what needs to be done, and use case means what is given to you and how it will be done. Clear? Okay, now user story format. As a sales manager, I want to auto approve low value sales order so that I can save time, right? So as a, I want to show that, right? As a, I want to, so that means I, as a sales order, I want to auto approve, and so that the time can be saved. That means the use case plus user story. User story says that what user story means, it's a statement that what the user wants to convey, and this use case means whatever needs to be done, how it will be done, how it will take place. And here the functionality, exactly what type of functionality is, right? So there is a specific difference. Now let's come to the step 5. Now in this step 5 you will see UAT script. Okay, now in this UAT script, okay, UAT script, just give me a second. Okay, now create a full business. See, in our step 5 we have to do the UAT script. We have to write down the UAT script, and here is our requirement traceability matrix table. Requirement traceability matrix also we have discussed in our sessions. Okay, right? So you can go through that session also. Now see, UAT and RTM table, requirement traceability matrix. Now requirement traceability matrix, as you know, we have already discussed one whole session on it. What is the requirement, how much is done, and what is remaining, who will be doing this process complete, right? Now here you will see the UAT script, step 1, action and expected result. Now in this UAT script, what you will see, create SO less than 50,000. Now see, in this this is a unit test case, right? So this is a unit test case that says that okay, create first sales orders greater than less than 50,000, and then status should be approved. It should auto approve. This is the expected result. And another is create a sales order greater than 50,000 and the status should be pending approval. Okay, now see, in this what happens, there are two things. One is unit test case and unit test script, right? In our UAT session we have discussed both. Just I am giving you the overview. In unit test case scenario, it's an Excel sheet in which you have to write down by which role you have to do what, and what will be the expected result and what was the actual result, and then note down, put down either pass or fail, right? That will be the Excel sheet. And unit test case script means you have to prepare a PPT. In that PPT you have to put the snapshots also. You have to do write down the instructions also by this form where you have to do what, because the reason again the same, the client employees who have been working there for the last 20 years, they are not habitual of latest applications, right? So you have to make them ready. So same thing, you have to explain them either through images, with the help of text, anything, right? So here is UAT and RTM table means what is the requirement ID. Related to this, what was the functional requirement ID? That means what is the requirement ID, what they wanted, what was the functioning of what they wanted, and what was the test case that you have applied to work on that functional requirement, and now what is the status, whether it's a pass. Yes, now it's a pass. So this is how the complete process take place, right? Again I am iterating it. What was the requirement? Okay, fine. What was the functioning of what they wanted? That means FR001. What test cases you have used after completion of that functional part? How many test cases you have used? Okay, so that is the test case requirement, right? And finally, what was the status now? Okay, this is the status, that is the pass, right? So this was how the UAT script and RTM table is there. Now let's see this also, just a second. Now raise a change. Now see, in the middle of the project, for example, the company has completed most of the task, like 60 to 70% project has been completed. Now what? Now suppose if they say any change, Now it's really very difficult to adjust that change. The reason is that suppose you have not mentioned any of your requirement. Now on the basis of the given requirements, our developer team, first our functional team, they made changes in the form, in the customization, right? That is called like customization changes. So our functional team has made that, and our functional team communicated with the technical team and provide them the ID. Now that based on those given IDs, the technical team, they applied the code, and now after applying the code we have conducted the user acceptance testing, and now you are asking for a change. I remember in one of my project, uh, just like this only, right, end-to-end implementation project, when we have done everything, customization of the sales order form, customization of the saved search records, saved search, then customization of the fields, then customization of the item records, everything we have done everything, and then at the end they suggested something else also. Like they suggested this for this particular warehouse, the tax should not be applicable. Now this complete, after doing this, now it's again it's a time consuming task to make these type of changes, because again the functional team has to put the efforts, the technical team has to put the efforts. So this is, so that is why this change requirements are very rarely entertained. Okay, they are done, there is a scope of change, but again the time will be consumed and the deadline will move a little ahead. Okay, now optional, this is optional, raise a change request. If client now asks to notify finance as well, for example, this is very simple example I am taking. Like we have done the sales order. Now that is why I have taken one case only, right? Now suppose we have created the sales orders, and then we have written the workflow for the auto approval for some specific roles. Now the specific roles means like sales manager and the sales supervisor and so on. Now at this point of time the client says that okay, notify to the finance team also, that means chief finance officer, CFO. Okay, now optional raise a change request. If client wants now asks to notify finance as well, right? So what I need to do first, I have to open the workflow inside. Now I have to check each and every point, right? For example, wherever the conditions are written, okay, I have to go to the workflow first, then wherever the conditions are written I have to make changes in it, and then I have to save that and then again run the workflow. That's the reason it's time taking process. Okay, so CR change request title, add finance notification, but again here also change request document will be created. Now this change request document is created. Again it's an Excel sheet, you can use any document, Word document or the Excel sheet, right? Now in this Excel sheet, what is the change request? So add the title, that is add finance notification. Okay, then raised by who has raised it. Okay, so their business administrator. Now impact, add email trigger and update workflow, right? Now again the same thing, because you have to inform the finance team also, so you have to put the email trigger, you have to put the email of that particular stakeholder, and then update the workflow, because I have written the workflow for this particular process. So status equal to pending approval. Okay, now impact will be add email trigger and update workflow, and the status will be pending approval. And in this way all the stakeholders will be notified. Now see here, now after overall all this process, what we have learned first. Now see, the target is that I have in the initial 20 sessions I have explained you each and everything, how documents are created in depth. Okay, so in our today's session, what I have done, I have taken one use case, and based on that, it is we have done the complete process. Okay, just give me a second, 1 second, just a second. Yes, okay, now see here, summary. Now case is auto approval sales order. Okay, now documents created, how many documents are created? See, in NetSuite or in any implementation project, okay, end-to-end implementation project, there are n number of documents, like hardly 10 to 15 documents. Okay, now here you will see BRD. Now see, you have to select the document based on the process. Now here BRD is required. Okay, business requirement captured, FRD logics and flow explained, use cases, steps and roles. Okay, and then the user story, agile ready requirement. Okay, so user story is something like this, and then UAT script, so end user testing. Now in this UAT script also, now let me explain you the complete duration taken. Suppose we have not discussed so far the duration. See, BRD development is like a 1 or 2 days task. Okay, then you will send it for the approval, so it might take 1 or 2 days. Then you have to write down the FRD. Once the BRD is approved, then the FRD, you have to again write the functional requirement document, and then you have to give it for sign off. So take 4 days for that also. Then use cases, what are the use cases, then what are the user stories, 1 or 2 days for that. Then UAT scripting. Now this scripting, see, scripting and testing document are there, UAT test document. Now in this test, unit test document, and then the unit test script document, right? So they both will take like 1 or 2 days. And in this way the requirement tracking document should also be updated. So all in all, like you will see here the 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, right? So 7 points are there, right? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, change handled professionally. So 7 points are there, and that means, and 2 days per module, so per document, so 14. That means at least minimum 2 weeks tasks is this. Okay, so you have to, the business analyst has to explain all these things. Okay, then change handled professionally. Okay, then the outcome, right? Now participants now understand how to connect real business needs, BA documentation, testing and change handling. Yes. Now what do you understand by this complete session, that what will be the outcome? First of all, you have to see the business real business need, then you have to prepare the documentation, then you have to take the sign off, right? After completion of documentation, you have to take the sign off first, and once you have taken the sign off, then what will happen? The testing will be done. Now in this testing process, again it will take 1 or 2 weeks, right? Again it will take 1 or 2 weeks, because many times if the project is like a remote project, or and that depends on the project, because when you give any document to the client side for testing, it is not necessary that immediately you will get the response. Okay, so the testing will take near about 2 weeks, and then the change handling. Now this change handling will also take 2 to 3 weeks. The reason is that you have the client has asked for the change, so 1 week will be required, 3-4 days will be required to make the changes, whatever the new changes are demanded. Minimum 3 to 4 days, right? And then once the document is reviewed, okay, that the requirement is reasonable, right? The demand is reasonable. So in that case, again the same procedure. Again you have to put everywhere, put that requirement everywhere in the business documentation, like BRD, then in the FRD also, and then use case also. All those documents will be updated, and after that it is called as okay, all the changes are handled successfully and properly, right? Here there is one more document, that is closure report document, closing project closing document, right? In that case also, in that document also, you have to write down what was the project, then why these changes are needed, what we have done in that project, and finally what was the outcome, the reaction from the stakeholders. Everything will be documented in that document, right? That is the closure report. And then take the appreciation document also, that whatever we have done, that is satisfactory to the user or the client, right? And the client is also satisfied with the work, so that type of appreciation letter will also be there. So there are so many things. So in this today's session, we have seen how to complete the one use case using all the documentation. So these are the list of the documentation: BRD, FRD, use case, user story, UAT script, RTM, requirement tracking, and then the change handled professionally. That means the change request document. Okay, so in this way our today's session is based on, it's just like a workshop, or we can say just like a complete test run of completion of one use case or the requirement. Okay, and today we will wrap up here only, and today we will close the session here, and tomorrow we will see Python for BA, business analyst, right? Now see, so far we have seen end-to-end project implementation for NetSuite project. Now tomorrow we will see in our session that when we are working on a like a software project, your company has to prepare a software, and immediately that software needs to be shown to the client. So in that case, what facility or what precautions, what facility is given by the client and what precautions that we need to take. So that is another use case, right? So guys, those who are new to this channel, I recommend them to watch my all the series, right? So the things will get more clearer to you. And those who are watching my videos since the starting of the series, so today is the most important today was the most important topic, right? Complete case study. Okay, and if anyone having any doubt, you can put down into the comment box. I will resolve them. Okay, so guys, today we will close the session here, and tomorrow we will see the another topic. And if you faced any difficulty or if you have any doubt somewhere, you can put down in the comment box. I will be there to help you. Okay, thank you guys. And those who have not subscribed my channel, then please subscribe my channel and like the videos. Okay, and you will after subscribing the channel, you will get the notification of the videos. Okay guys, thank you for attending the webinar. Thank you.